Hello, friend of karmic affinity. There is a profound truth we often miss. Perhaps you are not tired of life at all. Perhaps you are only tired of fighting it. Try observing yourself again. Even when no great crisis occurs, why does your heart remain heavy, your shoulders tense, and your mind never find a moment of rest? It is because a silent war is taking place within you. The war of resistance against what is present. We often think suffering comes from circumstances, but in the wisdom of awakening, suffering is born from the gap between what is happening and what you want to happen. When you stop arguing with reality, when the resistance within you softens even just a little, a miracle appears. That is, space. A silent space for peace to rush in. Let us step into that space together. My dear friend, let us look deeply into our need to control everything. Why do we always want to tightly grip the steering wheel of life, even while asleep? Many people mistakenly believe that the desire for control comes from arrogance or a wish to project power. But it is not so. The true root of control is fear. It is the insecure whispering voice within, believing that if one lets go for even a second, everything will collapse and one will be hurt. Observe your mind. It constantly predicts tomorrow, worries about risks that have not arrived, and tiresomely rehearses conversations in your head for situations that have not even happened. You are trying to write the script for a movie where you are not the director. But the Buddha taught about impermanence, the ever-changing nature of all things. Life is like a swift river, constantly changing shape, no two moments ever the same. Our attempt to control the future, control others, or control outcomes is, in truth, merely an illusion. It is like trying to catch the wind with bare hands, or trying to frame flowing water. That effort never brings the safety you imagine. It only brings exhaustion. Control is a war we are certain to lose against the laws of nature. When we let go of the illusion of control, the door of acceptance opens. But here, there is a disastrous misunderstanding we must clear away immediately. Many people think acceptance means passivity, weakness, or resignedly letting life's currents push them around. They think acceptance is defeat. But it is not so, dear friend. In the wisdom of awakening, acceptance is an act of the highest courage and sharpest intellect. Please engrave this saying in your heart. Acceptance is not surrendering to life. Acceptance is surrendering to reality. When you do not accept, you are standing there arguing with reality. You scream in your mind that it should not rain, that person should not leave, or this event must not be allowed to happen. But no matter how vehemently you protest, the truth is, it is still raining, and the event has already occurred. Non-acceptance only creates a fog of inner conflict, obscuring your vision and draining your energy. Conversely, when you accept, you stop that meaningless war. You say, yes, this is what is happening. At that very moment, the conflict ends. Your mind becomes clear and still. And from this stillness, you gain enough clarity to take the most correct actions. Acceptance does not mean you like what is happening, but that you stop denying its existence. It is not the end of effort, but the beginning of all positive transformation. Only when you stand firmly on the foundation of truth can you walk steadily forward. When we have learned to let go of resistance to reality, an important question arises. What can we still do? This is when we need a sharp wisdom to clearly distinguish between what is beyond our reach and what belongs to our true power. My dear friend, there are things that forever fall outside your control, such as the thoughts of others, the final outcome of a project, or the exact moment a flower will bloom. Trying to interfere in those things only brings futile fatigue. However, there is a sacred territory that belongs entirely to you, your intention, your effort, and your attitude in every smallest action. Buddhism calls this right effort, or samavayama. It does not mean you have to strain yourself to fight the world, but that you pour all your sincerity and enthusiasm into the planting, then trustingly leave the sprouting to the earth and sky. You do your best, not to force the outcome to your will, but so that you do not have to feel regret. When you know how to withdraw energy from what cannot be controlled, to focus fully on what can, you will find a wonderful point of balance. Remember this truth as a compass. Peace will sprout when your sincere effort meets deep acceptance. To understand more deeply how we make ourselves suffer, let us contemplate a famous teaching in Buddhist scriptures called the Salatha Sutta, or the Discourse on the Two Arrows. The Buddha taught that in the human journey, anyone, whether a saint or an ordinary person, cannot avoid the first arrow. That is primary pain. It is the mishaps, losses, illnesses, or unfavorable things that occur naturally. This arrow causes pain to the body, or emotions. That is natural. But our tragedy lies in the fact that right after the first arrow strikes, we often manually fire a second arrow into that very wound. This arrow is much more toxic. It is poisoned with the resentment, anxiety, and speculation of the mind. Take a very common example. Suppose you suddenly fall ill on an important day. The fever and body fatigue are the first arrow. But if you lie there and begin to torment yourself about why you are sick now, fear that you will miss work, or feel angry because your plans are disrupted, that is the second arrow. It is that resistance and speculation that turn a normal illness into a mental disaster, making you suffer 100 times more. Imagine life as a river. The first arrow is the submerged rocks the river must flow over. The second arrow is your attempt to block the flow because you hate those rocks. The water will rise, creating pressure and breaking the banks. Wisdom lies in accepting the pain of the first arrow, caring for that wound, but resolutely refusing to fire a second arrow into yourself. When you can do that, pain will be pure pain. It will come and go gently without leaving an unceasing ache in the soul. When mentioning letting go, many of us often feel apprehensive and shrink back due to a hidden fear. We fear that if we let go, we will become irresponsible, lazy, or lose our motivation to strive. But dear friend, please understand this very clearly. Letting go is absolutely not giving up. Giving up is a state of discouragement, helplessness, and indifference to life's flow, whereas letting go is an act of wisdom and inner strength. It is when you set down the tense attachment to outcomes so your hands are free to work your hardest for the present. When you attach, your mind shrinks in fear of loss, making every action forced and less effective. You work, but your head is full of worry. You love, but your heart is full of control. On the contrary, when you do not attach, your mind becomes open and flexible. You pour all your energy into action instead of wasting it on worry. Remember this saying: a stressed mind reacts to life blindly. A peaceful mind responds to life wisely. When you let go of the burden of expectation, you will find yourself working more fluidly, creatively, and persistently. You were like an artist absorbed in creation without concern for the audience's applause. That freedom is the root of the greatest achievements. Therefore, loosen your grip on control to grasp freedom and let life flow through you most fully. My dear friend, the theory of acceptance will remain mere lifeless words if it does not enter every one of your cells. We often try to force the mind to accept, yet the body remains rigid in resistance. Therefore, the truest practice must begin from the body. Right now, wherever you are, take a minute to lightly scan your attention along your body. Find where resistance is hiding. Is your jaw clenched, your shoulders raised, or a knot tightening in your stomach? That is exactly where you are saying no to reality. Do not judge it. Simply recognize it gently and relax those muscles. Next, name the thing you are trying to control but cannot. It could be someone's attitude or a yet-to-arrive result. Take a deep breath into that tense area of the body and whisper that, "I know this is happening, and I allow it to be as it is." Have the courage to stay with that uncomfortable feeling for a few breaths without running away. When you stop resisting in the body, your mind will automatically soften. Finally, return to the smallest action right before you, such as drinking a sip of water or feeling your feet touch the ground. That is how you anchor yourself back to the peaceful flow of the present. My dear friend, we have walked together through a long journey to understand the art of acceptance. Hopefully, by now, you have realized that letting go of resistance is not surrendering to fate, but the wisest way to preserve energy and regain clarity. We often mistake peace for the destination reached when everything around us has become perfect, when the sky is clear and all troubles are gone. But this life is inherently impermanent. Storms can rise at any time. If we keep waiting for stability from the outside, perhaps we will wait forever in despair. Engrave this one final truth as a compass guiding your soul in the days to come. Peace is not the absence of difficulties. Peace is the absence of war within yourself. When you sign a peace treaty with reality, when you stop aiming the second arrow of self-torment at yourself, immediately, the external storms become mere weather phenomena passing by. You still stand there, steady and serene amidst fluctuations, not because life has run out of obstacles, but because your inner home is no longer in conflict. You have chosen to be a friend to life instead of its enemy. This journey might not be easy immediately. There will be days when old habits of control return, moments when you want to tense up in instinctive resistance. That is completely normal. Please be patient and gentle with yourself, like a gardener patiently watering a tiny sprout. Every time you recognize tension and choose to relax, you are sowing a seed of freedom. If the shares in this video have brought you a bit of light, relief, or a fresh perspective, please help me spread this wholesome energy further by clicking like and subscribing to the channel. Leave a comment sharing your thoughts as a way for us to connect and rely on each other on the path of awakening. May you always find deep peace right in the heart of life, not because the storm has vanished, but because your heart has stopped raging. Goodbye, and see you in the next healing stories.